Brittany Sykes to sign a 2-year max contract with the Tempo. Alexa Philippou dropping this news. Are you kidding me? Brittany Sykes? Now, I'm not saying she is a trash player. I want to get that out. All right, let's make that clear. I don't think she's a trash player, but I do not believe she is a max type of player, fam. Nah. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all, man. This is
2-year max contracts are being given out very easily, like handing out candy on Halloween. But the real question no one is asking is, who actually deserves these contracts?
Marina Mabry. Marina Mabry to sign a 2-year max contract with the Tempo. Alexa drop once again. Yo, Marina Mabry, I don't understand it. I might have been wrong about the core and trade, but I did state that they could negotiate and actually take more years, less money, right? So that's what's going on here. I thought it might have been a 3-way.
Brittany Sykes and Marina Mabry have both signed 2-year max contracts with the Toronto Tempo. But if you look closely at the numbers behind these deals, there's a story that teams don't really want people to notice. A max contract in the WNBA means big money, and players who get it are expected to perform at a very high level. However, when you look at their stats from last season, things don't quite match up, and it raises questions about whether these contracts truly make sense.
I mean, can we stick on Marina Mabry for a minute? This is a player that finished shooting 27% from the three and 37 if you want to round it up, from the field, dog. I mean, I'm not understanding this. All right, and she's no star on the defensive side either. So what exactly made y'all want to give Marina Mabry the max contract? You feel what I'm saying? Now, I'm happy for her. She found a way to get her money. But for the Toronto Tempo, man, they have to be careful. This is a player that is promoting crash outs.
Marina Mabry finished the season shooting just 27% from three-point range and 37% from the field overall. Those are not the kind of numbers you expect from a player on a max contract in any league, yet Toronto Tempo still paid her like a top star. And if you think that's surprising, just wait until you see what Dallas Wings did next.
Field, dog. This is who we talking. Hey, I guess Pope was right, man. He said, this is the W. They're going to give maxes to all these players, man. And I'm seeing it right now with the Tempo. Now, looking at the Toronto Tempo, I did feel like they were the better expansion team. But do I feel like they are contenders right now? No, I don't feel like that. All right. But with the players that they have, I did feel like they could have been making a little bit more noise than.
Brittany Sykes shot 30% from three-point range and 38% from the field. Even with those numbers, the Toronto Tempo still saw her as a max contract player. That's what makes this situation interesting. Toronto was expected to be a smart expansion team. They had already seen the mistakes made by Golden State Valkyries and were supposed to learn from them. But instead, their first big move in free agency was giving max deals to 2 guards who both struggled to shoot even 40%. It doesn't really make sense at first, but there's a bigger reason why teams are doing this, and it shows that something isn't working properly in how the WNBA values players right now.
Ooh, a 3-year contract? What that money look like? What that salary look like? Now, I figured Alicia Gray would be back, and I figured they would sign Alicia Gray. It only makes perfect sense. I mean, I believe she was in the MVP race, if I'm not mistaken, last year. So, yeah, Alicia Gray going back to the Atlanta Dream. That's a huge pick. The Dream look appetizing, dog. I can't hold you. I mean, even check this. They got their 6th Woman of the Year back. Naz Hillman signed a 3-year contract deal with the Dream. The Dream are cooking, man. The Dream are cooking. They got the chef hat on.
Teams used to believe the core designation would protect them, letting franchises keep their top players without overpaying in free agency. But that idea just fell apart in Toronto. These players were cored, which means teams had the advantage they could negotiate and create smarter deals. Instead, they quickly handed out 2-year max contracts without much hesitation. And that's not even the craziest part of what happened this week. Moves by Atlanta and Dallas have completely changed how we think about building a team in the WNBA.
Hey, they just giving anybody maxes out here, man. Super maxes. I don't know what the contract is. Let me see. Agumbawale was eligible for the 1.4 Supermax in 2026, but it's taking less. Okay, so she's taking less. She's doing exactly. A lot of the players are doing what I was saying. Either it's the core and trade, or they're negotiating to get less money, more years. That's what's going on, man. So, yo, this is crazy. So, all the people who think AZ is still coming, is she still coming after seeing this? That's the question. Is AZ still going?
The Atlanta Dream made a solid move by bringing back Alicia Gray on a 3-year deal. That actually makes sense because she was in the MVP conversation last season. She's a strong two-way player who can score on her own and defend multiple positions. They also re-signed Naz Hillman to a 3-year contract. She even won 6th Woman of the Year, so keeping her is a smart decision and helps the team stay stable and competitive. But then the Dallas Wings did something that doesn't really fit normal roster-building logic. It went against what most teams would consider smart planning, and it changed the way people are now looking at how WNBA teams are being built.
Dog, and you're keeping Arike. This is just if they are keeping her. They need to fire that front office. They need to fire that front office, dog. I mean, it doesn't make sense. You got to go for Iowa at this point. You have to. You have to, dog. I just don't see them getting AZ, and then you have, Arike and Paige. I don't know what you're going to do. Then you already have JJ, right? And James. You have those 2 young guards that you can develop and help Paige in the backcourt. Look, y'all pick AZ. My mind would be blown, man. My mind would be blown. But after this, I don't think I can't put anything past anybody at this point. Don't anything surprise me anymore.
Eriko Gunbowl just signed a 7-figure, multi-year deal to stay with the Dallas Wings. And at first, that might sound normal because she's one of their main stars. But the situation gets more complicated when you look at everything else happening in Dallas. They also have the number 1 draft pick, Paige Bueckers, who is seen as a generational guard talent. The problem is she plays the same position as Erike. So instead of fixing their backcourt issues, Dallas has doubled down on it. This is the same guard pairing that struggled with chemistry and couldn't get out of the first round. Now they're committing long-term money and building around a duo that hasn't really worked yet, which is why people are questioning the logic behind the roster moves.
To be, man. Oh my goodness. Another year of Arike and Paige, and they did not have a good season. I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe they turn it around. Who knows? But y'all let me know how y'all feel about all the craziness going on right now, man. This is juicy. I might go live. I might go live, man. We might just go live and talk about what's going on because there's so much going on today. Let me know in the comment section. I love y'all. Y'all keep it smooth.
Think about what this really means. Dallas Wings already have Eriko Gunbowl and Satu Sabauli as their main scorers. They also have young guards like JC Sheldon and Sophie Cunningham they are trying to develop. That already creates a crowded backcourt. If they also add Paige Bueckers, then there are too many guards for the same positions and not enough shots or minutes to go around. It raises real questions about fit, roles, and team balance. The bigger issue is a trend happening across the league. Players are accepting longer contracts for more security, even if it means slightly less money per year. In return, teams are giving out max or near-max deals more quickly than before. This is not just about performance anymore, it's about locking players in before the salary cap and league economics change. Teams are also thinking ahead to future changes, like a new CBA and possible salary cap increases, which could make today's contracts look cheaper later. So they are locking in talent early, even if the fit is not perfect. But that strategy only works if you pick the right players. And that's where Toronto's moves get questioned. They are not only paying for production, but also for fit and personality risks. Marina Mabrey plays with a very intense, emotional style, and Brittany Sykes is more of a defensive role player than a true star creator. So paying them like franchise cornerstones is risky. Meanwhile, teams like the Atlanta Dream are building more cleanly by paying clear stars like Alicia Gray and strong role contributors like Naz Hillman. In the end, Dallas shows a different problem. Even if the talent is good, the roster doesn't naturally fit together. And that kind of imbalance can stop a team from reaching its full potential, no matter how big the contracts are. The core system was supposed to protect teams and stop players from forcing their way into super teams. Instead, it created pressure. Teams now feel forced to give out max contracts quickly just to stop players from leaving or demanding trades. So instead of gaining control, teams end up panicking, and that leads to bad contracts that can hurt them for years. Look at the Toronto Tempo. As an expansion team, they should have flexibility to adjust and build slowly. But instead, they already have 2 max contracts tied up in guards who struggle to shoot. If they realize the fit doesn't work later, they won't be able to move those contracts easily because no team wants to take on big money for low-efficiency players. That could leave them stuck and limit their future. The bigger problem is that teams may not be valuing players correctly in the WNBA. A max contract used to mean a top-level superstar. Now, it sometimes goes to players after just one good season. That changes expectations across the league. When players like Marina Mabrey get paid at a max level despite poor shooting numbers, it sends a message that performance might not matter as much in free agency. That could lead to more overpaying and less balance in team building. Meanwhile, teams like the Atlanta Dream have made more balanced decisions by paying clear performers like Alisha Gray and strong contributors like Naz Hillman. In the end,